Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure.
Coach, that's what they call me. This is Coach. How's everybody doing? Doing a YouTube page. Doing the YouTube page to tell everybody who I am, or share with everybody who I am, I should rather say. But anyway, this page is completely about me. Everything I do, where I was born, Muskogee, Oklahoma, just stories that I have, interesting concepts that I make, quotes. I love reading, love learning, love doing a lot of stuff. So just learning who Coach is and me learning who I am as well. Because a lot of times, or most of my life, I just kind of been going, and haven't had time. I'm 41 now, so I need a little time to sit and reflect and kind of, I guess you could say, not that I don't enjoy my life, but start to sit and relish and I guess you could say a different type of joy of my life. So this is what this is about. I'm doing a lot of different things. It's a new season in my life. Excuse me. It's a new season in my life. I'm in Arizona. I was born in Muskogee, Oklahoma. Yeah, Muskogee, Oklahoma. Okie from Muskogee. I actually met somebody the other day. That daughter was actually in Muskogee. It was quite interesting, our conversation. I was doing a wedding, a photography. I do photography as well, if you didn't know. But this is the Coach's origin. And I have stories for days, and I have these wonderful people around me. My wife, of course, got my boys, and they're going to help me baby step through this process. And I'm excited because it's new, and I'm nervous because it's new. But for mostly, I'm excited because a lot of people they don't know who I am. They only know me as what I just started out with, Coach. So there's some other things that you know people can learn about me. And the first in the introduction video, I'll give you the first. One of the first things I'm gonna start is in the origin story. One of my athletes said that, so I'm gonna kind of stick with that. But being born in Muskogee, Oklahoma, um, one of my earliest memories. It's not bad, it's not good, but it's going to be a interesting for me to kind of just lay it out here on the page. Is I was born with bow legs, and I have a memory, and I actually asked my mom about this. I have a memory of them drawing on my leg, my right leg to be specific, talking about how they would, you know, back in the day in the 80s, I don't know if they still do it now, but anyway, they would break the kids' legs and reset them and different things. And my mom said no. So I remember them writing on my leg, and the interesting thing that happened that I remembered, and I asked my mom about, she didn't necessarily say I was wrong in the memory, but I remember someone, it was a lady, she walks in and she was smiling, but it felt different. Like it was different than anybody else. Their energy was a little off. And I know now today she was kind of laughing, and I don't know what type of laugh, but I remember as a kid, you take snapshots of your life, and or at least I did. I have these snapshots that I remember, and like I said, I was talking to my mom about it, and and then I remember another story that I confirmed again with my mom of she would put my shoes on the wrong feet, and we were walking down the street, and I remember a man saying or laughing or something about it, and I know my mother wasn't too happy about the situation, and that's what set in my mind of, okay, my legs are different, my shoes are on the wrong feet. Obviously, I wasn't thinking that back then, but I knew the energy. I know the feeling of, and we all have a conscious, intuition or whatever you want to call it. And that started that journey that I am today. And I set out on a thing of just learning basically, how to walk. And then it led me to honestly observing and watching people because I would study like, okay, he walks this way or this person walks this way, thinking I was just solving, or I guess I was just solving a little puzzle. And then come to find out that's why I'm coach. And I was observing people since a child. And that was probably, that is the beginning of me. And so much stuff came from that. My legs. being the way they were at that time. And it's just, looking back, I recently, since 2020, I started doing more writings and writing different. I write anyway. I've been doing this for years, but I actually have a life coach, and she had me like write about, just everything, my dreams, write down my dreams, write down so many things. And as I start to reflect on it, over the past, I would say 2-3 years or whatever, I was kind of shocked about how I learned some of the things I've learned. And the cool thing about it is I'm at this point today where I'm like, I can really help myself, which in turn helps people. But truthfully, it's this new healing process for me. And I don't mean healing like I've been walking around wounded. I mean healing like us as people, we carry so many traumas, so many ideas of what society wants us to be, or, how schooling, that's another great thing, as I'll be talking about. I struggled in school. I honestly, to say it, lightly, I hated it, but that's not really lightly, but I hated school. School was not fun. And it taught me so much. I've learned so many things through these processes that I want to share, and I want to share, and I want to laugh about them. It's not a thing of, I don't feel bad. I have, my wife, Toya, my two boys, Jaden and Daniel, Jaden being 17, Daniel being 14. And then I have wonderful young athletes around me. I have people that I've met that I love, that, I talk to. It's so much in this. I just want to share. I just want to show people, or have people just listen, and that's the cool thing about YouTube. You can turn it the freak off. Like, you ain't got to sit here and listen to me. But the cool thing is somebody will. And I'm doing it for that one person. So again, back to the bow legs. I remember being, just kind of laughed at and different things. But that, once I learned that, there was a process in this, walking. Like, I remember I can't remember the store. It was a grocery store, price something. But I remember going in that store as young. I don't know how old I was. And I remember standing watching people, and just watching. And at the time, you could think, you get this little boy sitting here, he's just watching people. And honestly, yeah, but I was watching how they walked, because I guess you could say, energy that fell off is when people talked about my legs. And I knew that was like, I didn't have a comprehension, but I thought it was actually fun to be able to solve and walk like other people, or behave in that pattern. So that's what led me to so many things today, and I've learned that at a young age. So just be excited like I am. If you're not, cool, don't really care, but this is something new that I wanted to do, and I'm excited about it. I'm excited because it's new, and we all need things in our life to adapt. And you could say, in my life, I always say every decade I've done something different in my life. And being 41, I want this, to arrive at 50, I want it to be different, and say I've done something that, that I push myself for. And this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to be on here, and I'm going to, share a lot of photography, a lot of, because we do photography. And I have, we did a wedding last weekend, our second wedding ever. And it's just always fun to watch my wife in that process, because, photography started very simple. She loved taking pictures, or I guess she liked pictures, I guess I should say. Anyway, but we moved to Virginia, and for our anniversary, we bought a camera, and the camera is a D3000 Nikon. And I would go for hikes. We live close to Shenandoah Valley. And again, that's another cool story, but I'm just going to tell you this one right now. But anyway, we live closer to Shenandoah Valley, like Appalachian Trail. And I would go for hikes, and I would bike and different things. And if anybody been to Virginia, it's a lot of bugs, especially in the summer. There's a lot of bugs everywhere, but in Virginia, it seemed to be more because it was the area we lived in. But anyway, I would see some of the coolest bugs. And coolest is a moth that looked like a hummingbird. I think it's called a hummingbird moth, but I could be wrong. But I saw these things, and I was like, yo, babe, why don't you come check this stuff out? She's like, nope, too many bugs, too hot, too humid. So I took the camera and I started taking pictures. And the pictures really turned into, she would say, these pictures are good. And I'm like, yeah, who cares? I just wanted you to see the fact that, these crazy looking bugs. And the boys were young. Jay was in kindergarten. So that was, Daniel was what, 2 or 3? So that process, it just evolved. And she entered us into a contest. I don't remember exactly, but we might have won like $25 to Walmart or something, like a gift card or gift certificate to Walmart or whatever. And that was like exciting for us. So it kind of took off from there. And then I just consumed every photography video that I could find. And it just kind of led there. And that's what it kind of just took off. That was 12 years ago, maybe 13, I'm not sure. But those simple things is like, I taught myself photography on YouTube. Everything that I'm talking about or will be sharing on this page pretty much came from my school, YouTube, or some other form of, YouTube. There's different other things, but YouTube is like, that is the haven for it. That's at my school. And this is the beginning of just me laughing and kind of recording some of the stories and some of the things that I've learned. So I'm excited. So I hope you guys are excited too.